Coach Hill, no one wants to talk to Coach Hill. I love that. How are you?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Okay, good.
Just having you on the radio, you know.
Yeah.
Just having you on the radio.
Okay, good.
Ready? You good, Brandon? Yeah. Wanted to ask you, just in terms of looking back at TCU before you look forward to Texas Tech, what did you take away that you feel like you can improve upon the most in your mind?
Well, we got to obviously play better. Most of it started just with alignment and technique. If we just play our techniques right, I think we're out of a lot of those drives. We got to be better on third down. I thought we were much improved on first and second down for the explosiveness of their offense. Getting that team into 19 third downs was actually a pretty good job. We just got to be much better on third down.
What can you do with the third downs? Like, is there a technique you can bring? What can you do to improve that?
Well, obviously, I got to put the players in a better position to make plays, and then we need to make plays. But it just comes back down to fundamentals and executing schemes the way we need to, and me doing a better job of getting those players in better positions to make those plays. You guys know I'm always going to put that on me and my responsibility to, get those guys out of those drives.
Why do you think Hoover had so much success kind of on those short and intermediate passes? And is that something that you can fix a little bit?
Yeah. We got to play with better leverage in our secondary. Just awareness on what's coming, especially on those down and distances, I think can help us a lot. And then again, we got to do something, whether it's through the call or the way we practice or something, to help the players be in that position to make those plays when it matters.
What's the latest on Cam? I know he sat out last week.
Yeah, that one hurt too. Losing Cam Garrett, who's playing as good as any corner in the conference right now, in my opinion, that hurt. But he practiced very well today. We expect him to play on Saturday. He looked great today.
Now, losing a guy like Tanner Wall obviously thins that safety depth is already really thin. Any hope that Talon Alfrey can come in and get out there at some point?
Well, Talon's going to be back soon. I don't think it will be this week. We're hoping for Texas. He'll be back soon. The other guys, really, to this point, have done a pretty good job of picking up the rifle and stepping up and, doing a good job. The hard part about Tanner Wall, he played great against Cincinnati, and so to lose him the next week, that hurt a little bit. But, that's college football right now. I've said that all along. You're going to have injuries, and how you overcome them is a critical part of our success.
How do you think Harrison Tagerson in particular filling in for Ben, who's lost for the year?
Well, that one hurt, right? Losing Ben Bywater is such a critical part to our defense. I think Harrison Taggart stepped in and played really well, and he's got better each of the two games he's played a lot in, and I only suspect that he'll get better and better as time goes on. He's very athletic, he's fast, and he had some great hits in that last game. He's a very physical guy, so I look forward to his future and what he can become.
What about Preston Rex? What did you see out of him?
Yeah, Preston's kind of the same way. He flies around. He played with good technique that last game. His deal right now, he just needs more reps and continue to get more familiar with the defense, but I thought he did a lot of good things.
How well has Pruitt performed for you guys over the past couple of weeks?
Well, other than the dumb penalty that I wasn't very happy with Crew, I thought he did a lot of good things in that game. He had a huge 3rd-and-1 stop. He did a lot of great things in that game. We just, eliminate that one mistake. That was pretty costly.
I wanted to ask about Siale Sarah. He's a guy that I think was slowed by injury early on this season, but then he gets in there and gets to that interception. Was that gratifying to see him have made that progression?
Oh, yeah, and he's another one of those young linebackers that we think is going to be absolutely outstanding. Not many guys go in their first college rep and get an interception on their very first rep in college football, but that just shows he's a playmaker. He's athletic. His drop was really good on that coverage. And his best football is still in his future. The BYU fans are going to get to know that name a lot because he's going to be a great player here.
It's undetermined on who Texas Tech's going to start at quarterback, but what's the biggest challenge of having maybe a second or a third-string quarterback you could be lining up against?
Well, we saw that last week. It doesn't matter who shows up to play quarterback. You better be ready to play great and execute what we do. That's going to be the key. It's going to come down to how we execute, how we run our coverages, the pressure we get on the quarterback. Either one of those guys is very capable and has shown that they can be great players. So it doesn't matter who that is. We got to be ready to play.
What do you make of the offense overall?
Well, it's typical run and shoot. They throw for a lot of yards. They get a lot of yards. I love the running back. He's one of the best running backs we faced this year. Actually, both of them are playing at a very high level. Both running backs are averaging over 6 yards a carry right now. And the quarterbacks have been very capable getting the ball to their playmakers. So we got our work cut out for us. This is a very high-powered offense coming in here who's played very close in some big games against Oregon and some other elite competition. These guys have been right there with them. So we got a very good offense coming in here Saturday.
We see a guy like Redditor Mooney, starting to get more reps over time. What is he doing to get himself more on the field?
Same thing. I think he's going to be a very, very bright spot in our defense for a long time to come. His familiarity with the defense and what we're doing and techniques and just the overall scheme is getting better each week. And as he continues to get better at that, he'll get more and more reps. And, again, I think he's going to be a very good player. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Ethan K.
Might just be me. Did that last time. Gone?
Good.
Come right up to that mic.
Perfect.
There you go. Thank you.
He didn't just talk about how you guys come in Monday. How do you rebound, mentally just from a loss like that?
Yeah, it's definitely tough after a week like that and a loss like that. But the best way to come back from those is with a lot of energy and effort. Monday in the weight room and film, come ready to learn from your mistakes. I think we did a great job at that with everything from working out to the study of the game.
What were the main takeaways from the film that you took away from the defensive side of the ball and maybe even the secondary?
Technique is a big one. We had the right coverages a lot of the time, but we were just a little bit off in our technique, and that opened the window for some plays that shouldn't have been there. And then taking away the big plays, we can do a lot better job at that, just eliminating the big plays. We had a lot of third downs, long third downs, and we let too many of those go by us and get off the field.
Seems like health is a big concern in the back end. I mean, who's not injured right now?
Yeah, everyone's dealing with something. Yeah, that's true. It's just the name of the game. It's what comes with football, but it's always the next man mentality. And I feel like we have a great job. We've been doing a great job with that here. And I trust everyone in our safety room and every room that the next guy up is going to be prepared and be ready to go out and play.
How big of a loss was it to not have Tanner and Camden out there this last week?
Oh, it's always a big loss to have those guys gone. It's sad to see them not be on the field. Tanner, he's a safety, and seeing him work all off season and put in the work that he's done, and kind of see him the last couple of weeks that pay off, and then just have that kind of taken away from him this week. That's tough to see your friend go through that.
You're a couple of days into practice now. What have you seen on film from Texas Tech?
A lot of RPO. They love the RPO. They have a couple quarterbacks in their system, but they have a good running back. I kind of think all Big 12 running backs are pretty solid. They all play similar, but they have a good back. But yeah, they'll go zinging out there, and then they will run the ball down your throat as well.
You talked about the running backs. How do you guys prepare defensively for two running backs almost averaging 6 yards per carry?
Physicality. Coach Hill speaks highly on that. It's just you got to be physical with these guys. You can't go up and just launch into their legs. They're going to bounce off and drift off. You have to come up and be physical.
As far as going back to TCU, it looked like there was an adjustment made even from the front. I don't know if you saw it, but hands getting into passing lanes, a lot of that quick game was successful inside routes, digs, slants.
Mm-hmm.
Was that schematic? Did you guys want to initially kind of give up inside and hope to be able to stop that run? It sounded like you guys were also stacking the box a little bit. Just talk about the game plan leading up to TCU.
The game plan, we didn't think that they were going to run so many in-breaking routes and cut in so much, and we kind of just called our plays in anticipation to play what we planned for, and we need to do a better job as players kind of adjusting to the game as the game goes on. We can't have a set mindset in stone when we come into the game. We have to be able to move on the fly, and I think that's something that we need to do better at this week and the following weeks is when teams are gashing us in one area of the game, we need to learn from that and adjust maybe in halftime, second quarter, when we're out on the bench talking to our coaches, talk to each other and tell them what we're seeing so we can fix it the next series out on the field.
What did you think of the defensive front getting their hands in passing lanes, though, and how effective was that?
It's always big when you got the big guys out there batting balls down. It's hard for the quarterback. It's intimidating when he feels that pressure and they want to release that ball. So it's good for us secondary guys. It helps us out, and it's whenever they do that, Coach Hill always preaches, go tap them on the helmet and let them know they're doing a good job.
Lonnie mentioned losing Ben Bywater for the season. What opportunities does that present for Harrison Tiger going forward?
Man, Harrison, it's going to be some big shoes to fill. Ben, it's sad that we're going to be missing Ben. Ben's a great friend of mine, so it's hard to see him not be out on the field, but Harrison, he brings the energy. I wish you guys could see him in the locker room before games. That guy's a madman, and he brings the juice. He gets everyone excited to go out on the field. So I'm excited for Harrison. We all have trust in Harrison. We all know that he puts in the work, and he works really hard to be where he's at.
Another backup quarterback this week. How do you prepare not having that much film, or does it even matter really having film on a guy?
You prepare the same as it was the starter. Sometimes the backup can give juice to a team, and they can rally behind a backup. So we learned that last week. The backup last week came in and had a great game. So we're not going to take this lightly, and we're going to prepare just like it was anybody else, a nameless opponent. And so we're going to do everything we can to prepare for this game.
How do you approach kind of the doubters, right? You're a walk-on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's always people questioning. Let me get you real quick. You got a
No worries.
right there, man. I got to look out for my walk-ons.
Yeah.
I want you to get bit. So, you know, how do you approach the people that doubt you, right? I mean, you hear it.
Yeah,
you know,
most
whether
definitely.
it's from media like us or from fans. What's your motivation? How do you approach your craft, your game, your mindset?
A lot of the talk is you just block it out, and what other people say doesn't really matter. And I do agree with that wholeheartedly. If you let it affect you in that way, where it can be negative, then don't even listen to it. Don't go on social media. Don't listen to the radio, whatever. But for me, I personally kind of use it as fuel. I like when I hear, 26 he can't play safety. He's not built for it. He's not tall enough. He's not strong enough. And I use that as fuel. And if it ever has affected me negatively, I just have to check my mindset. And I've worked to get here where I'm at, and everyone else on this team has worked to get here. And I feel like we do a good job of that as a team. And Kalani preaches it all the time. Just we're a family here, and we're all we need as a family.
What's the message that your coaching staff gives you when you see attrition, whether it's injuries or when it's transfer portal in the middle of the season? What's the message your coaching staff has given you?
We got, 6 more weeks here? And just to focus on these 6 weeks to be a family and do everything we possibly can together to see where we can get at in 6 weeks. My mentality this week is let's have a perfect week. Do everything we possibly can do, and especially in the safety room, everything we can, and see what the outcome will be. Just kind of test it. Let's go test it and see what we can do this week. If we do everything perfect this week, we watch film extra, we practice extra, we get extra sleep, we eat healthy, stuff like that.
Sounds like there's always something to do.
Yeah, exactly. There's always something to do. If you're not getting better each day, that's on you.
I know it was a negative, but final thing for me, what were some of the positive things that you saw from your teammates when you went back and watched the film? Anyone individually that really stood out to you?
One player that stood out to me was Harrison Taggart. That guy flies around on the field. Like I kind of said in that pregame in the locker room, he's got that energy. He plays with that energy on the field. He'll come hit you. He had a big hit on kickoff and a couple hits on defense that kind of made everyone look. So, yeah, Harrison Taggart was one of the players that kind of stood out to me this week.
And then who do you expect to step up in the safety room with so many injuries that are kind of knocking your safeties down like flies?
All the guys, I have full trust in them. A big name that I think you guys will see a lot of is Crew Wakely. He's been doing a great job at practice, and all season he's been doing a great job, and he's been getting in and out, kind of been dealing with a little bit of injuries here and there. Nothing too serious, but I think Crew is primed for a big game this week. And it doesn't matter, honestly, who's on that field for the safeties. I have all trust in all of them, and I feel like any of them can go do just a good job.
And he's free safety, your strong safety, or is it
It's
kind of
mix and match,
mix
man.
And match, whatever
Yeah.
is the best matchup.
He wants right, I want left, we'll go for it.
Thanks, Ethan.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah, no problem.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you guys.
Keep working.
My dude. Sir. Ticks me off that Tanner's out, though, man. Tanner's about to lock down that free safety spot for the next 3 years.